So hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to Kreatryx channel. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Vishal Soni and I have cleared engineering services examination 2 times from electronics and telecommunication branch, both times in double digit rank. In 2014 my rank was 98 and in 2015 my rank was 25th. I have served as a Group A Gastro Officer in Indian Railways and in Indian Telecommunication Services. So most of you must have been following me on the Kreatryx channel for electromagnetic field theory. So if you are a seeker of a free education, this is the channel for you, and you must understand that all these free initiatives is coming your way because of the Unacademy. So Unacademy is the revolution in the field of the free education and the affordable education. So how can you access those free courses? So if you want to access the free courses, you must immediately subscribe this channel, Kreatryx channel, because all the top educators of the country is providing the free course on this channel. And that free course is absolutely brilliant in content, that is systematic, that is organized, and that is complete. So complete playlist you will be getting of a particular subject. You can develop the concept, you can gain confidence. More than that, you can love the subject. So immediately subscribe this channel. Secondly, if you want to access more free content, then you must immediately download the Unacademy Learners app, because on the Unacademy Learners app, top educators of the country are conducting the free special classes. In that free special classes, you can get topic wise clarity of a particular concept. And do not forget to follow me on the Unacademy Learning app. So you can also access the courses. So you must have two things. First is your YouTube channel. This YouTube channel, Kreatryx YouTube channel, must be subscribed. Secondly, you must understand that you should have the Unacademy Learning app. That is must for you in order to crack the examination. So these are the parts of the free education. And if you want to organize your content well, if you want more comprehensive manner, if you want other advantages of the Unacademy, then what are the other initiatives that is running by the Unacademy? So another initiative that is running by the Unacademy is Unacademy Plus. So on the Unacademy Plus, this is very affordable for those who actually want to take their preparation to the next level. So आपको Unacademy Plus में क्या क्या मिलेगा? You will be getting the live classes on a fixed time, so that you can get more disciplined, you can get more organized, and you have something in your mind that at this particular time my classes are going to run. Apart from that, you will get free test series designed by the educator itself. So gone those times when we have lot of errors in the test series, we do not have the discussions of the test series. So there the test series will be conducted by the educators. They themselves will be discussing the solutions of that particular thing. So you can imagine that your preparation is going to the next level for this. Apart from that, those who have prepared themselves for the examination, so for them there are crash courses also available. Again the crash courses will going to help you in achieve good ranks. Those who have already achieved good ranks and want to improve their rank, for them there are rank improvement batches. More than that, you can also see that there are unlimited practice sessions. So what do you understand by unlimited practice session? Which means there will be various doubt solving sessions. Apart from the doubt solving sessions, there are weekly quizzes, and with the help of those weekly quizzes you can enhance your problem solving skills. So lot of unlimited doubt solving sessions, lot of quiz sessions, systematic content, structured content. You can download the PDF after the lectures, so you don't have to waste your time in order to making notes. You can utilize those times to practice the particular concepts, or you can use those times to just write down the formulas so that you can remember those formulas quickly. Apart from this plus subscription, there is also one subscription which is known as Iconic. So Iconic subscriptions are for them who actually do not have the self motivation but having the talent. So if they are having the talent and you do not have the self motivation, that how can I push myself to crack the examination, so in this Iconic subscription you will be assigned a personal coach. So this personal coach is going to be with you every time, and he will help you to achieve your dreams. You will get a study planner which will be customized for you. You will get the expert guidelines who have already topped the examination. They will be basically hand holding you to crack the examination. So if you think you are not self motivated, if you think you do not have the proper background to crack any particular competitive examination, so this Iconic subscription is must for you. This is going to help you. So if you want the free education, then YouTube channel and the special classes are must for you. And if you can afford a little bit, how much you should afford, that we'll discuss in a while. But if you can afford a little bit, you should come on to this Unacademy Plus. And more than that, if you want the expedited process in your preparation, आप जल्दी से एग्जाम निकालना चाहते हैं, जल्दी से अपनी गलतियां सुधारना चाहते हैं, so this Iconic subscription is for you. Then now let us start today's lecture, which is on the communication system. So now let us start the lecture. Hello friends. So in the last lecture we studied about frequency mixer. In this class we will study about frequency multiplier. So now what is a frequency multiplier? A frequency multiplier is a
square law device followed by a band pass filter. So this is the block diagram of frequency multiplier. And in this we will apply cos to FCT. Now we have to generate the output. So the internal block diagram of frequency multiplier contains a square law device followed by a band pass filter. So this as a whole is known as frequency multiplier. Now let us try to solve a question. So this is your square law device, and in this I am applying cos omega ct as input. After the square law device, I have to apply a band pass filter. Input of the band pass filter I am taking as x of t, output I am taking as yt. We know that x of t will be a naught cos omega ct plus a1 cos square omega ct plus a2 cos cube omega ct and so on. So now I am writing this term as a naught cos omega ct plus a1 by 2 plus a1 by 2 cos 2 omega ct plus a3 cos cube omega ct. Now we know that if I choose a band pass filter which is centered at 2fc, so this is our band pass filter and it is centered at 2fc, then what will be the output? The output will be a1 by 2 cos 2 omega ct. So you can very well observe from here that I have applied the input of cos omega ct, and in return I am getting the output equal to a1 by 2 cos 2 omega ct, or you can say that the frequency omega c has been multiplied by a factor of 2, or you can directly write output is directly proportional to cos 2 omega ct. So the symbol of frequency multiplier is sometimes shown as this, where n represents the multiplicity factor, and sometimes the symbol is shown something like this, that is cross n, and same n is representing the multiplicity factor here. So a frequency multiplier always multiplies the frequency. So observe carefully that if I have written cos omega ct and I am considering omega ct as theta, and I am passing it through a frequency multiplier of multiplicity factor n, so the output will become cos n omega ct. Now if you will observe it from the theta point of view, so the output will become cos n theta. So sometimes frequency multiplier is also known as angle multiplier, because if you are multiplying the frequency, then obviously the angle is also going to be multiplied. So the alternate name of frequency multiplier is sometimes also known as angle multiplier. So now let us observe what happens when an FM signal is passed through a frequency multiplier. So the general expression for FM signal for single tone sinusoidal signal is AC cos 2 pi FCT plus beta sine 2 pi FMT. Now this signal AC cos 2 pi FCT plus beta sine 2 pi FMT is passed through a frequency multiplier of multiplicity factor n. So what will be the output? The output will be some AC dash cos 2 pi n FCT plus n beta sine 2 pi FM into t. So I have basically multiplied with n in the angle. So when n is multiplied in the angle, the output will becomes AC cos 2 pi NFCT plus n beta sine 2 pi FMT. So if I will consider this as an angle theta, then the output can be considered as AC cos n theta. And if I will multiply it with n, then this complete expression is multiplied by n, and in turn I am getting 2 pi NFCT n beta sine 2 pi FMT. So here you can observe the input was cos 2 pi FCT plus beta sine 2 pi FMT, and the output was AC dash cos 2 pi NFCT plus n beta sine 2 pi FMT. So now let us try to understand what happens when FM signal is passed through a frequency multiplier. So this is the input of the frequency multiplier and this is the output of the frequency multiplier. So whenever frequency of FC is passed through the frequency multiplier, at the output you will get the frequency of NFC. Similarly, the massive signal frequency, which is FM here, it remains same and it does not change. So the massive signal frequency does not change. Beta, you can observe from here, the beta will be changed to n beta. Now what about delta F? We know that delta F equal to beta FM. Now beta has been changed to n beta and FM remains constant, so it also becomes n delta F. What about bandwidth? The bandwidth is beta plus 1 into 2FM, and here the bandwidth will become n beta plus 1 into 2FM because FM does not change. Now at the input, in case of WBFM, modulated signal has frequencies FC, FC plus minus FM, FC plus minus 2FM, and so on. If it is passed through a frequency multiplier, then modulated signal will have frequencies NFC, NFC plus minus FM, NFC plus minus 2FM, and so on. And the most important point, that when a signal is passed through a frequency multiplier, since FM does not change, hence the spectral width or spectral separation between adjacent sidebands does not change. So the spectral separation between adjacent sidebands does not change, or it remains same as FM. So you must remember, in case of frequency mixer, only FC is affected, rest parameter remains constant. Similarly, in case of frequency multiplier, all parameters are affected except message signal frequency F. Now we will try to understand FM modulators. So till now we have discussed about FM modulators, and we have already seen how to draw the block diagram of narrowband FM modulator. So here we are basically interested in wideband FM modulators. So first, FM modulator generates wideband FM by using direct method. Sometimes it is also known as direct FM generation. In second method, WBFM is generated indirectly, and sometimes it is known as indirect FM generation. So first of all, we will study about indirect FM generation. This indirect FM generation, sometimes also known as Armstrong method. So in this Armstrong method, what we will do, first of all, we will generate a narrowband FM. So a narrowband FM signal is generated. After that, it is passed through a frequency multiplier. So this is the initial basic block diagram which I am drawing. So we know that the expression of narrowband FM is AC cos omega CT plus beta sine omega MT, and here beta is very much less than 1, hence it is known as narrowband FM. So first of all, we will generate narrowband FM by using narrowband FM generator, and the output comes out to be SNB FM of T. Now, since we are interested in generation of wideband FM, so for wideband FM, this beta should be very much greater than 1. So this narrowband FM generated signal is passed through a multiplier, and what this frequency multiplier does, the frequency multiplier generates a signal at its output, and if I am considering this as a theta, then the output of frequency multiplier will be so the output of frequency multiplier will become AC cos n theta if the multiplicity factor I am considering as n. Now this AC cos n omega CT plus n beta sin omega MT. Now after passing through the frequency multiplier, the effective modulation index becomes n beta, and we have to choose n such that this n beta becomes very much greater than 1. So the output of this frequency multiplier can be written as SWFMT. So we have obtained the WFM or the wideband FM at the output. But what is the consequence of this? So let us understand this in the next slide. We have given m of t to an NBFM generator. It will use carrier signal and message signal, and it will generate a narrowband FM, that is AC cos omega CT plus beta sine omega MT. Now after that, it is passed through a frequency multiplier, and it is having multiplicity factor as n. So what is the output of it? The output of it becomes a wideband FM signal, and this wideband FM signal is AC cos n omega CT plus n beta sine omega MT, and here n beta is considered to be very much greater than 1. Now if you will observe, the carrier signal which we applied here was AC cos omega CT, and the frequency of this carrier signal is omega c. Once it is passed through the frequency multiplier, though modulation index has been changed from beta to n beta, but in between the frequency has also been changed from omega c to n omega c. So now if we want our desired carrier frequency, then the block diagram should also include a frequency mixer along with the frequency multiplier. So this is your NBFM generator, and this is the carrier signal. This is your narrowband FM generator output. After that, you passed it through a frequency multiplier, and what frequency multiplier did was, it actually changed the carrier frequency from omega c to n omega c and changed the modulation index from beta to n beta. And so here n beta is desired term and it is greater than 1. So this is our wideband FM, but in between the frequencies also has been changed from omega c to n omega c. So what will we do? We will again pass it through a frequency mixer, and the output of the frequency mixer will become AC cos n omega c plus omega L into t plus n beta sine omega mt, or AC cos n omega c difference omega L into t plus n beta sine omega m t. So thus by using a single frequency mixer or more than one frequency mixer, you can shift your carrier frequency to desired frequency, and this frequency mixer you can use as an up converter, which is here, or as a down converter whose expression is writing here. So depending upon your choice or the requirement, you can use a frequency mixer or more than one frequency mixer so that carrier frequency is again shifted to desired value. So lastly, I am again making the final block diagram of indirect method of FM generation. So our message signal is passed through a narrowband FM generator or modulator. With the help of carrier signal, it generates a narrowband FM. In case of narrowband FM, beta is very much less than 1. So we passed it through a frequency multiplier, and at the output we got wideband FM signal. So here n beta is very much greater than 1, but omega c, which was here, has also been changed to n omega c. So after that it is given to frequency mixer, and this frequency mixer shift the frequency of n omega c to n omega c L or n omega c difference omega L. Now you can again use a frequency mixer so that a desired carrier frequency can be obtained. This is also frequency mixer. Here the frequency which I am using is omega q. So the output frequency can be n omega c plus omega L plus omega q, or n omega c difference omega L difference omega q. Similarly, you can use one or more than one frequency mixers until your carrier frequency has been obtained to desired value. So I'm again writing the steps. In case of Armstrong method, the first step is to generate narrowband FM signal. Second step is the narrowband FM signal is passed to a frequency multiplier. So this was the narrowband FM signal. AC cos 2 pi FCT plus beta sine 2 pi FMT. Once it is passed through the frequency multiplier, the wideband signal becomes AC dash cos 2 pi NFC plus n beta sine 2 pi FMT. So this is wideband FM signal, but the carrier frequency of this signal is NFC, which may or may not be desired frequency. Now third and final step is the last stage of this frequency modulator contains one or more than one mixers which performs up or down conversion to shift the carrier frequency NFC to desired frequency. In case of Armstrong method of FM generation, we are free to choose N and mixing frequency, that is omega L, omega Q. So we can generate any modulation index at any carrier frequency. So this is all about the Armstrong method of generation of wideband FM. Now let us try to understand the direct FM generation method and how it is different from the indirect FM generation method. So first of all, let us have a look on the few points about the direct method. Now we know that for wideband FM generation, that is for high value of beta, indirect method requires large number of blocks. It also requires large number of multiplier stages because very high degree of multiplier does not exist. So in this case we will use direct method of FM generation. In direct method of FM generation, we will use voltage control oscillator, or for direct method of FM generation, voltage controlled oscillator or VCO is used. So let us have a look on some points on the VCO. What is a VCO? The full form of the VCO is voltage controlled oscillator. So this is a type of oscillator which is controlled by the voltage. In VCO, the frequency is controlled by an external voltage. the oscillation frequency varies linearly with the control voltage. We can generate FM wave by using the modulating signal MT as control signal. Such that the instantaneous frequency of oscillation becomes omega c plus kf mt. So now let us try to understand how VCU actually works. So let me draw the diagram of a VCU. So I'm drawing an amplifier. This is the amplifier. These are coupling capacitors. In the feedback, I'm using a circuit to provide 180 degree of phase shift, and here I'm using two inductors. So this is the circuit of Hartley oscillator. Here I'm using a varactor diode. It has some capacitance as C, and these terminals are connected, and here I am using as ground. And here you can observe the output. So now this circuit is Hartley oscillator as long as I am not applying any input here. So when instead of capacitor I am conducting, or I am connecting a varactor diode in place of capacitor in Hartley oscillator, and if I am giving the provision to apply the message signal on these two terminals, then this whole arrangement is known as voltage controlled oscillator. When no message signal is applied here, in that case you can observe the output of sinusoidal nature, or you can observe the output as A cos omega ct, and this frequency of oscillation will be 1 upon under root LC, where L will be L1 plus L2 and C will be the junction capacitance, which will always be equal to A epsilon upon W, and W is known as width of depletion layer or depletion layer width. So whenever message signal is not being applied, it will generate a signal of constant frequency omega c, and the value of omega c I have written here is 1 by LC. L and C you can calculate here. Now what happens when input is applied here? Suppose I am applying my message signal plus minus, and this is message signal M of t. So if plus terminal is connected to N and minus is connected to P, then this varactor diode will be in reverse bias, and we know that this is the situation. Here two inductors are also L1, L2, and this has junction capacitance as C. So I'm applying my message signal M of t in reverse bias. We know that as M of t increases in reverse bias, so the reverse biasing will increase. If the reverse biasing will increase, the width of the depletion layer, which is W, will also increase. And if W is increasing, we know that junction capacitance, which is C, equal to A epsilon upon W, will decrease, but the frequency now, which is 1 upon under root LC, will increase. So we know that as M of t is increasing, this junction capacitance should decrease. So the relation I can establish between junction capacitance and MT as C equal to C naught minus kmt. Here also we can see that as M of t increases, this junction capacitance will decrease. Now this K is known as capacitance sensitivity of diode, and its unit is farad per volt. So now initially the frequency was constant when M of t was 0 and omega c was 1 upon under root LC, and the value of C when M of t 0 becomes C naught, so omega c I can write it as 1 upon under root LC naught. Now whenever M of t is applied, this frequency becomes function of time, so I am writing it as instantaneous frequency, and it will become 1 upon under root LC. This 1 upon under root L, I am putting the value of C naught here, so it becomes 1 minus kmt. Now this instantaneous frequency becomes 1 upon under root LC naught 1 minus kmt upon C naught. This can be also written as 1 upon under root LC naught 1 minus kmt by C naught power minus 1 by 2. Now here I am assuming that kmt by C naught is very much less than 1. So omega it will become 1 upon under root LC naught 1 plus kmt by 2 C naught. We know that whenever 1 plus x to the power n is written and x is very much less than 1, then it can be approximated as 1 plus nx. Now I can write it as omega it equal to this quantity we have already approximated with omega c, so it will become omega c 1 plus kmt by 2 C naught, or you can write it as omega it equal to omega c plus k omega c upon 2 C naught mt, or you can write it as omega it equal to omega c plus kf mt. So as soon as M of t is applied, the frequency of oscillation becomes function of time, or it is representing the frequency of an FM signal. So what you can observe here, that a VCO, when M of t is not applied to it, it will always generate a sinusoidal signal of constant frequency. Sinusoidal signal of constant frequency. that is, the output will be some AC cos omega ct, and the frequency of oscillation of the output signal will be 1 upon under root LC naught. Now, as soon as m of t is applied to this voltage controlled oscillator, the output frequency becomes function of input, and the function is in the form of omega c plus kf mt. In this case, the output frequency of oscillations become function of time, or you can say the waveform which is being generated at the output has frequency of something this. So the expression of output signal will be AC cos omega ct plus kf integration of mt dt. Or you can say that whenever message signal is applied to the input, in all that cases the output will have a frequency of oscillation which is a function of time and a definition of FM. So the output will always be an FM signal, or you can say that the VCO acts as a FM generator. Whenever message signal is applied at the input of VCO, you will always get a sinusoidal signal which has time varying frequency, or you can say that the frequency which is same as the definition of FM. So VCO acts as FM generator. Whenever m of t is 0, VCO is said to be operating in free running mode. And in free running mode, it always generates an oscillating signal of constant frequency. Constant frequency of oscillation. And that frequency is omega c equal to 1 upon under root LC naught. So the general format of signal can be written as AC cos omega ct. Whenever m of t is non-zero, in that case VCO will generate an oscillating signal of time varying frequency of oscillation and this time varying frequency has the definition of FM, that is, the frequency varies with message signal in this manner. So this represents that the oscillating signal has time varying oscillation frequency in this format, and it will always represent an FM signal. So from further onwards, we should remember that whenever a message signal is applied at the inputs of VCO, it always acts as a frequency modulator, or it always generates an FM signal at its output. Now let us conclude few important results from the previous discussion. So till now we had already reached to this expression omega it equal to omega c The first expression was the junction capacitance C0 minus kmt. So delta C will become kmt. This is your equation 1. Now the second expression which we have written was omega I equal to omega c into 1 plus kmt upon 2 c naught. It can be written as omega I equal to omega c plus omega c kmt upon 2 c naught, or we can write as delta omega equal to omega I minus omega c equal to omega c kmt by 2 c naught, or you can write it as delta omega upon omega c equal to kmt upon c naught. Sorry, this is kmt upon 2 c naught. Now this is equation 2. From equation 1 you can say that delta c equal to kmt. So I can write delta omega upon omega c equal to 1 by 2 delta c by c naught, or delta omega by omega c equal to 1 by 2 delta c upon c naught. Now we have already proved that this delta c by c naught is equal to kmt by c naught, and this should be very much less than 1. So from here we can say that delta upon omega c should be very much less than 1 by 2, or delta f by fc should be very much less than 1 by 2. So this relation you should also remember. And here delta f by fc is small, hence delta c is small fraction of c naught. From here you can say that delta c is very much less than c naught. So it is small fraction of c naught, which helps in limiting the harmonic distortion that arises because of the approximation used in the derivation. Because of the approximation used in the derivation. So this was all about the direct method of FM generation. Thank you.
So if you have liked today's lecture and you want to subscribe to Unacademy Plus, the very first thing that you should understand that you should use this particular code. What is the code? The code is Vishal Gate. Write my name and attach Gate to it. So by using this particular code, you will be getting all the advantages of the Unacademy Plus. All the added advantages will be directly assigned to you. Secondly, you will directly come to under my guidance, and that will surely help you to crack the examination in the least possible time, and you will also get the guidance of the complete team. Okay, and the most important thing is that you will immediately get the 10% discount on that. So immediately you are enabled to get 10% discount once you use this coupon code. So for example, if you talk about the plus subscription, which is costing you 25,000 for 1 year, and if you use this coupon code Vishalgate, immediately you are going to get 10% discount, which is 22,500. And if you talk about the iconic, for the iconic subscription of the 12 month, this will cost you around 40,400. So these are the cost of the 12 months. And if you want to talk about the 2-year subscription, cost of the plus, it is your 27,000 after discount. If you want more discount than 10%, and you have already attended the special classes, then you will be having some credits in your account. Do not forget to use those credits so that you can get more discount than 10%. Now how can you pay these amounts? So there is one good news for you, that you can pay this amount by using credit cards and debit cards by using the facility of the zero cost EMI. So if you want to pay this particular amount of 22,500 with the help of zero cost EMI, so the zero cost EMI can be availed by using credit cards and debit cards. Remember, you can use the credit card of any company, but the debit card is allowed for HDFC and the Bajaj Finserv. Apart from that, if you want to directly pay this much of amount, you think that this particular amount is the most affordable fees that can be provided to you for 1 year subscription, तो आप directly क्या कर सकते हैं? You can use this credit card, debit card, direct payment. You can also go for the EMI options, okay, and you can directly pay this amount by using net banking. Every time you think of the Unacademy Plus subscription, the first thing that should come in your mind is this particular code. Do not forget to use this code once you take the subscription, because I have already told you that this particular coupon code is going to give you the lot of advantages, so you cannot miss the opportunity to use this code. So every student who want to come on to the Unacademy Plus, they want to take the advantages of the Unacademy Plus, they want to empower themselves in the best possible manner in this digital era, they want to be the part of this revolution, then this is the time for you. You do not have to wait for it. If you are in the first year, if you are in the second year, you are in the third year, the best possible time is right now to prepare for the examination, to dedicate yourself, to give yourself the opportunity so that you can get the success as early as possible. Apart from that, you should also join this GATE aspirant group. So this GATE aspirants group is already having 150k plus students, so you can join it. There are a lot of discussions going on between students. You can get the advantage of those discussions. Okay. You can also join this Kreatryx channel, which is a Telegram channel. So everyone has to join this channel so that you can get all the PDFs of the lecture which is being assigned to you. Fine. There are various channels which you can go for it. So various channels in the association with Kreatryx. So you can follow the channel of your interest. And this is it in today's lecture. So let us meet in the next lecture. Thank you so much.